Hi everyone, we're here at the Metals Investor Forum Toronto edition doing backstage interviews. I am with Ron Macdonald, VP Exploration at Southern Silver. Thanks for being with us, Ron.
Thank you very much, Peter. It's always a pleasure to come to Toronto and present at the Metal Investors Forum. Thank you.
Nice to have you here. And so for anyone who's not familiar or for an update, Southern Silver has an exceptional silver asset. I'm going to let you talk to us about Cerro Las Minitas, the size of it, and how it's being advanced.
Okay, thank you. Well, Cerro Las Minitas, it's a large silver-lead-zinc skarn system located, well located in Durango, Mexico. It is the flagship of the Southern Silver Company. It currently has mineral resources totaling 350 million silver equivalent ounces, and that's about 40% in the indicated category and 60% in the inferred category. The way that breaks down is 122 million ounces of silver and about 2.7 billion pounds of combined lead and zinc. So yes, it is quite a sizable deposit. We continue to advance it. In late 2022, we conducted a preliminary economic assessment of the project, and I guess one of the key words in PEA is preliminary, as it basically sets out some of your marching orders. There were things that we felt that we could improve on, and certainly including the rate of return of the project, as well as the ratio of the NPV versus the amount of capital that would be going in to build it, and so that's what we focused on. And we've been working over the last year to continue advancing that, with the idea that we should have, I think I was originally saying, we would have something at the end of the first quarter, right. 2024. It's probably just going to dip over into the very earliest second quarter. So thinking of literally in around 30 days time, okay, of maybe of having something to go. And so that has been the main focus. And within that, we have added some resources. We've upgraded the metallurgy to add gold values to the cash flow model. There's for certain deposits, we've been able to add copper revenues, and in fact even able to increase some of the zinc recoveries, as we've made efforts to be able to standardize the metallurgy and how it applies to all of the deposits, all 7 deposits that we currently have on the project. So yeah, it continues to be a work in progress. There's still more work to do, but we anticipate in the next 30 days or so to have a final product and be able to announce that at least in a news release form.
Excellent. So there's certainly that to look forward to in terms of potential catalysts. We've seen gold close at an all-time high just yesterday. Yep. Silver is doing okay, but certainly needs to start catching up. Now, Mexico is the world's largest silver producer. People have some concerns because of current government and perhaps even the future government making it difficult with changes in mining laws. Now, I think it's worth spending a little bit of time. You're closer to that than many. You can provide some clarity, I think, in terms of first your project and people concerns that there may or may not be, or should not be, around your project, and as well look at the realities around these potential changes in mining laws.
Right. Yes, of course. Cerro Las Minitas, it is very well located. As I've said, it's in Durango, which is a very mining friendly state, and so I won't say regardless of federal laws, but sure, there is a little bit of a balance there, and likely some pushback because Durango is one of the better jurisdictions. One of the things that has caught a lot of people's attention, and from what I understand, it's not actually in the law, but it's been stated by the outgoing president that no more open pit mining.
Right.
Well, fortunately, currently, for us, Cerro Las Minitas is an underground mine. And it's again, quite a large and would be one of the larger underground mines, that would be active in Mexico once it gets into production. And there are some other things with the new legislation, which was, or tabled legislation, which was originally, or part of it was to adhere to new environmental regulations. And that included things like recycling water. And so we had already built into our economic assessment dry stack tailings, which is the more environmentally friendly, safer, considering recent happenings in Turkey, and as well it preserves more water in the process, and you get to recycle that water. So there's a number of things that we have going for the project that, in terms of on the environmental side, we would imagine that it shouldn't be significantly affected by the proposed changes on the environmental side of the legislation. There are other things that are maybe a little bit of a concern, but from what we understand is that the legislation was introduced and passed illegally. Through the Senate illegally, and on that basis, as well as other aspects of the law, other details of the law, is being challenged in the Mexican federal court.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I think that's important for viewers to realize too, that this is by no means a done deal, and there's a lot of there's a tremendous case against a lot of what's being proposed.
Yeah, exactly. And so we have every confidence, our legal representatives as well as others within the industry and lawyers that we've spoken to as well, feel that it will get thrown out because it was in contravention to the Constitution. However, it probably still means that something will come about.
Right.
There is going to be an election in Mexico in the coming months, and we'll see what happens there. The current president cannot stand for re-election. And so there will be a new government, and we will have to see just how favorable or unfavorable that government may be. So I would, of course, everybody's curious and concerned. However, I think in terms of the CLM project itself, it starts checking a number of the boxes that you would want to see to see it go forward. I will mention one other thing. In the fall, I read a newsletter article from the Mexican Business News that was noting that despite these headwinds, there are about 8 different projects Mexico-wide that are moving towards production and will be either in production or advancing right to a production decision within 2024.
Okay.
And so, that's pretty good. You can look around any jurisdiction. Are we opening up 8 mines in Canada?
It's all relative.
I don't think we are.
Exactly.
I don't think we are.
Exactly.
And many of these are major projects. Many of these are major projects from major North American players in the industry. And so, I think at the end of the day, there is always going to be mining in Mexico because it means so much to so many of the states and so many of the people.
Right.
And it's a matter of being able to move the project through the various regulatory regime, move it through the social regime, and we do have a very good relationship with the 2 local ejido that have surface rights over our project, and we meet with them at least once a year and often multiple times a year, and inform them of what we're doing and what and where we're going. And so it's a number of those things, both the social and the environmental considerations that I think we've built into our thinking and built into our assessments of the project moving forward, and we have confidence that this is going to be a mine someday, and we want to be part of that.
Excellent. We've talked about Cerro, maybe a little bit more in terms of potential for it to grow, because it's already impressively big, but there's still potential for that to grow.
Yes, I think we're sort of right at maybe the lower level of where maybe some of the larger miners in the world may be interested in the project. We feel that by maybe growing the resource from the 33.5 million tons it currently is up to 40 million tons or even north of 40 million tons, that can be quite favorable to the ultimate development of the project. And so we've identified about 25,000 meters of drilling to conduct on the project. Once we complete this PEA, we will have to finance that. So you finance that and then move the project forward, adding some resources. This will be very good news because you'll have the PEA as a catalyst. Right. And then as you start drilling, then of course you have further exploration results as continuing catalysts, through the months moving forward. And then we just have to see, I think, again, one of the biggest changes that can affect the valuation of a project is, of course, metal prices. Right. And that as we see silver continuing to appreciate in value, and as we see the base metals recovering as we get out of these recessionary times, whether it's true recession or not, we can argue that, but recessionary times, that we see metal prices, consolidating and then moving up, which will always be a benefit to resource projects like ours.
Absolutely. So maybe to wrap up, you can touch quickly on, you have a couple of other projects, Oro and Hermanas. They're in New Mexico. Yes. Can you just tell us a little bit about those and where they are, where they're at?
Yes, these are earlier stage projects. As you say, both of them are located in southern New Mexico. Oro is a large laramide aged copper moly porphyry system with some distal gold targets as well. We've had that project for over a decade now. We've completed 12 core holes and 17 RC holes on various targets throughout the project. It's a deep buried porphyry system, so it's sort of good news that the mineralization hasn't been eroded away. That maybe the not so good news is that it's probably quite deep. And so we've done some deep drilling in this last round. We've been able to vector into some additional targets. We're likely looking for a partner on that one to do some more of the heavy lifting on that one. The Hermanas project is one that we brought into the company about 2 years ago. It's an earlier stage silver gold epithermal vein system. There's probably about a half dozen different targets, a very broad vein system, and we've identified I think it's around a 4,500 meter RC program, which relatively low cost, only about $500,000 US, and that's one that we would probably want to get our first, for the first drill holes, or at least our first drill holes in, just to be able to assess what it looks like. So yeah, we're currently raising, we'll be looking at budgeting for that. We're currently permitting that project for drilling, and be looking probably in the fall of 2024 of going in and doing that $500,000 program. Okay.
Well, fantastic overview of Southern Silver. Exciting stuff happening there, and I encourage everyone to follow the story and look for all these developments.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Peter.